What's going on, everyone? My name is Jake. I like to talk tunes, and we need to talk about a real problem in the modern gig economy. I've had this question on my mind for a while, and I've wanted to make this video for months, and the title says it all. At what point do artists just begin to exploit their fan base? Because it's something that's been happening for a very, very long time, and it's something that has been an issue for a very, very long time. In the past, the thing that made me want to make this video was ticket prices, specifically for larger pop artists. I know myself, I believe I paid £130 to go see Taylor Swift, and don't get me wrong, that is an outrageous price to pay. I am just fortunate enough that I was in a position where I could afford to pay that. I was financially able to pay £130. And at the end of the day, a big reason I paid that money is because it was the Eras Tour, it was the celebration of an artist that I loved, now would say of an artist that I grew up listening to, an artist that has albums that mean a lot to me, and get to go through, a whole night where we just celebrate the entire career and have dedicated sections for each album. It was a concept that was kind of blowing my mind. It was a celebration of all things Taylor Swift, and it had Paramore support. For me, that is, especially with the price, for me, I was like, I'm going to pay this and then I'll never see Taylor Swift again, but I will at least have ticked the bucket list artist off my bucket list. I'll get to see Paramore again, that's fine. But I still do believe in my heart of hearts that £130 for one single ticket for a seat in the second back row in that arena with a partially obstructed view was absolutely ludicrous. And I have no doubt in my mind that I was being taking the mick for, I have no doubt in my mind that paying that price, I am being taken advantage of by the artist. I'm well aware of that. But I was 23 when I bought the tickets, 24 when I went to see it. I'm an adult, that's fine. It was my money, I'm okay with spending that. But on top of that, there has been other things that have contributed to it. This idea that you need to go and see every single tour to go and see the secret songs that bands play. That isn't really to do with bands, to be fair. That is more of a fan culture thing. That, I want to go to as many shows as I can because they'll maybe play 3 songs that are different, or we have surprise songs. And I understand it's human nature to want to go and see as many of these as you can, but artists aren't telling fans, you do not need to come to every single show. If you're already paying X amount for a ticket, do not come to multiple shows in the hopes that we'll play this one song and then be upset when we play it the one night that you don't come to. On top of extortionate prices and the fact that artists do very little to kind of quell the I'm a better fan than you because I went to this gig and this gig and this gig culture that brews within a lot of particularly pop fandoms built of kind of mostly younger teenage girls. The fact that a lot of these artists don't speak out about this and don't say, hey, fucking stop, that's stupid, does ultimately feel a little bit predatory and exploitative. Another major aspect of this, which also leans into the I'm the biggest fan of this artist that can be, is vinyl variant culture. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a vinyl variant, and I'm not saying that the idea of bands releasing multiple different vinyls, some more collectors than the other, is a bad thing. It's not. It is a good way to release music. It's a good way to promote physical media and to get people buying physical media, and ultimately that ends with more money in the artist's pocket, and I can respect that. However, I don't necessarily see this as a big issue in the punk scene. I know that Aaron West and Roaring Twenties released, I think, 5 or 6 variants for their last record. I'm pretty sure the Wonder Years released a good few variants for their last record as well. I have a few Wonder Years variant vinyls there. But it's collecting all of them, especially in this pop medium, where you have a lot of young and impressionable teenage girls who want to be the best fan on the internet to get the likes and the follows and things like that. And it just creates this ultimately toxic circle of fandom. It's hypocritical in a way. And don't get me wrong, I understand the irony of me saying it's fine when bands that I like do it from this scene, but when artists in this scene do it, it's a bad thing, because it's not. It is inherently human nature to want to collect the cooler versions of things and the fun ones and go, I've got this version, what do you have? However, for me, one of the most egregious uses of this practice were the 4 main variants of Taylor Swift's Midnight, because they all had a different back and then they all formed a clock. And if you had all 4, you had the clock. No bonus tracks, no special tracks for each version, no real incentive to collect all 4 versions of that album other than to make a fucking clock. Here we go, I've got mine. I don't remember what version this is. Does it say up there? See in here? I don't know. I have this version. I have here. You can see what I mean. If you buy all 4 of these vinyls, it creates a whole picture with a whole clock. Because it's midnight. Do you get it? Do you get it? It's really clever. So I've got this one. Someone I know spent 180 Great British pounds to have all 4. That's fucking insane. That's not even to mention Billie Eilish, who earlier this year said in an interview with Billboard that releasing all these vinyl variants is incredibly wasteful and harmful for the planet, and she talked about priding herself on being as sustainable an artist as possible and having her career run as sustainably as possible. And then with her album that came out not even, 4 and 5 months after that interview, we have all of these vinyl variants. Let's read them out. 1. So we've got a red one for the Amazon web store, we've got a grey one for the UK web store, we've got an eco blue for web stores in the US and the UK, there's an Urban Outfitters white one, there's a Target yellow variant, there's an indie record store teal variant, and there's a Spotify Coke bottle clear variant. So that's 7 variants from an album that, not even 6 months before, she was saying doing all this is incredibly performative, it is actively harmful to the environment, and shouldn't be happening. All the things I mentioned there were things I was going to talk about in my video a few months ago. Life got in the way, I was never actually able to make that video. Things happened. It is what it is. However, something happened today that has once again lit the fire under me to speak about this. Sam Fender just announced today that he's going back on the road with an arena tour. Everyone knows that Sam Fender is kind of seen as the sort of young, working class hero. But he prides himself on being this sort of relatable young lad, working class lad, down to earth. Everyone, someone that you feel like feels like a normal guy, kind of fights back against the sort of inherent classism and elitism in music. He feels like a regular guy making music for regular people. Sings about his experiences growing up in a working class town in Newcastle, and sings about all of these things. And how much are his tickets? If you go to the Hydro, the cheapest ticket is £54 for a seat. And if you want to stand, you're paying £90. You're paying £88 and 5 pence. That's including the fee, apparently. So if you want to sit in your arse and be a mile away from the stage and hardly even fucking see them, you're paying £54. And if you want to be in the action, if you want to be down there, you're paying £90 fucking pounds for Sam Fender. Are you kidding me on? It is nothing short of greed and hypocrisy, and it is nothing less than an absolute spit in the face of your fans. Even Billie Eilish did it, putting standing tickets up for £250 or whatever the fuck the price was. It is insane. It is nothing short of disgusting entitlement and contempt for your own fans. Because people will buy these tickets to see artists that they love. People will buy these tickets, and it will sell out. I'm pretty sure I saw Sam Land tweet that these shows are going to gross minimum £1.5 million just based off ticket sales. That is fucking insane. Another thing about this, Sam Fender has 2 albums? 2 albums. He toured the same set list for over, 3 years, playing the exact same set every single night. And now, if he's changing that up for a bunch of songs that we're not going to have heard because the album was probably going to be another 4 months away at that point. You're paying £90 for a man who's only really been in the spotlight for the last 6 years? Paying £90 to go see that. It's shocking. On top of that, again, Sam Fender has a reputation for cancelling gigs. As Billy called him, Mr. Signal. This man is almost notorious for cancelling his own shows, and he's looking for people to shell out £90 for these tickets. That is mental. At what point are we just actively insulting your fans? I'm going to see Idols at the Hydro, the same venue that he's charging £90 for a standing ticket, and I paid, I think, £43. Paul Heaton made the tickets for his arena shows £35 and still turned a profit. Don't act like the artist doesn't have a say in this, because they absolutely do, and he can stop this. He could have turned around and said, that is outrageous, let's drop that down a little bit, because I'm still fucking loaded, hence why I'm doing an arena tour. The same way that Billie Eilish doesn't need to charge £250, the same way that Billie Eilish went, it's actually disgusting if you release all these variants, wait, how much money can I make if I release them all? At some point, these bigger artists are just, quite simply, ripping the fucking piss out of their core audience. And I understand the hypocrisy of me coming up here when I have an Oasis ticket and I went to the Eras tour. I understand. But at the same time, I don't go out and purchase multiple variants of records. And yeah, some artists don't expect you to do that. But Taylor Swift released, what, like 75 versions of the Torture Poets Department, probably like 19 different vinyl variants, some with iPhone voice notes on them. One, because she hates competition and because she is actively scared of good albums being number one in the charts. But that also creates this, she is aware of the culture of her fan base, knowing that people will buy all of these new things just to have all of these new things. I want to say we're getting to a point where this bubble of rampant consumerism within the space and just sheer selfishness and no sort of respect for your audience is coming to an end. I truly want to believe that, but if people keep buying these things, if people, because this tour is going to sell out, it's Sam Fender, people with no personality are going to go to it. When this tour sells out, that just then makes him think he can charge this money for future tours. That then makes artists that little bit smaller think, I can charge this little bit more. It's exactly what happened when the Eras Tour cost so much and sold out. Now, the Eras Tour was what? Paramore played for like an hour and 10 minutes. Taylor was on for 3.5 hours. So it was a lot of music and it was a full day. But I still paid a lot of money for it. And I don't hide that. I definitely did. And it was a good day and I had a good day. But at the end of the day, those prices were still exploitative and completely fucking unnecessary and unwarranted. When a Taylor Swift charges up like £400 for a standing ticket or whatever the fuck they cost, when a Billie Eilish charges £250 for a standing ticket, when an Oasis charge £150 for all the tickets at Heaton Park because it's an outdoor park show, when these artists charge that much, it then lessens the impact when an artist on the level of a Sam Fender bumps their ticket price up a little bit more. And then when that happens, that then lessens the impact of when an artist that little bit smaller, maybe playing, let's say in Glasgow, artists playing like the O2 Academy or the Barras, what happens then is those artists can then take their tickets from, £30 to £40 and put them up to £50 to £60. And it just trickles down and the prices keep going up and it hurts us. If this continues to happen and we don't vote with our wallets, and by vote with our wallets I say we vote by refusing to open our wallets, this creates a space where artists will feel empowered to continue rising the prices for shows and experiences that quite literally do not meet the value of what you are paying for. Very recently, I went to see Laura Hibbard at King Tut's. It was an absolutely incredible show. King Tut's, one of Glasgow's best venues. It was a 300 capacity venue. The upper bit wasn't open, so that's maybe 200, maybe 150, so maybe half of it. Let's just say 200. So it played to 200 people. Those tickets were £13. And I had an absolutely incredible night. I would have paid more for that. I definitely would have paid more for that. I've paid £25 for tickets in Tuts before. I think I paid 30 once. For Kenny Hoopla might have been 30, Kenny Hoopla might have been 25. I think Kenny Hoopla was 25. But that feels right for that venue. 200 cap venue, artists around that sort of Lauren Hibbard, Kenny Hoopla, or Bro Gale in there, around about that sort of size. £20 feels right. But what happens is the Hydro goes up to 90, the Barras goes up to 60, King Tut's goes up to 40, and you're paying £40 to see someone with maybe an album and 2 EPs out. Eventually this is going to become completely unsustainable and either break the live, and it will break the live music, burst the live music bubble for good or for bad. Either artists realise this isn't sustainable because fans stop going, or what I'm worried about is this becomes the new norm. Eventually we'll all be paying triple digits to go see fucking someone with 2 albums at the Hydro, I went to go see the Libertines last night, one of the most legendary bands ever. I paid £40 for that. Great ticket price. But what's going to happen if these artists continue to just laugh at their fans? It makes the live music space either unsustainable or unsustainable for the working class, and music and live experiences becomes a commodity that many working class people will be priced out of. At the end of the day, if you're choosing between £100 for Sam Fender and if you've got £150 left till the end of the month, and the Sam Fender tickets go up for £100, most people aren't going to pay that because they need to prioritise other things in their life. Not everyone has savings. So to people with daddy's money and loads of savings, crack on. Spend £300 for all you care. But at the end of the day, the people who really, really care about this music so much are going to be the people worst impacted and worst affected by it. One last thing I want to get off my chest before I finish this video is, if you are an adult, if you're my age and you love Sam Fender, you love Sam Fender, you've got the tattoos and you've seen them 15 times and you've got the vinyls and you love them, then go to this. I'm not saying don't go to this, because the problem isn't that the older fans are being exploited. Yes, we are, objectively, but we're not the ones that this is the most hurtful towards. The issue is the younger fans. I have a friend of mine who went to multiple dates on the Eras Tour, both in the mainland UK and on the continent, and whilst I think that is mental, she works a good, steady, well-paying job, and she can afford to do that. Sam Land, friend of the channel, went to 4 1975 shows this year. He bursts his arse in his work so he can go to multiple days on multiple tours, especially multiple expensive tours. He is working for the money to be able to do that. And that is something that they choose to do as adults, and that's completely fine. But the issue is the younger fans who feel like they aren't as big a fan of this artist if they don't go. The young, impressionable fans who feel like, if I don't go to multiple shows, then I don't count as much as someone who did. They feel the need to camp out, otherwise they don't mean as much to this artist, doesn't really fucking exist, as other people on Twitter. If, like I said about the secret song thing, if you're going to, 6 or 7 shows because you want to see these 2 songs, and then you don't see these 2 songs, and then the next night you go see them, now you've wasted what? So you've gone to 6 more shows, you've wasted probably close to £600 more of your money hoping to see 2 songs that there was no guarantee of seeing. How many parents are going to be putting themselves into a financial strain because their child wants to go see a tour? How many young people are going to be spending their money irresponsibly, having maybe worked their first job and bursting their arse and fucking trying to juggle school and a part-time job just so they can go to multiple shows on a tour? This is who this is the worst for. It is bad for me, but I am 24. I am nearly 25. I have a full-time job. If I want to spend my money and go to multiple dates on the Sam Fender tour, which I don't, but if I did, that's okay. That's my money, and I'm apparently a responsible adult. The issue here is the culture that is created with young fans and the feel of the necessity and the idea that they have to do this, otherwise they are not as important of a fan to that artist. Or worse, or even worse, within a fan culture online. Doing all this to impress people who live on the other side of the world and to prove that you're a better fan than someone else who only went to 1 show, or doing this so you don't feel like you're a worse fan for only going to 1 show, which at this price you might not even be able to afford the one. It's disgusting, and I'm fucking sick of it. It's a disgusting practice, the ticket prices and everything else I've said. It's a disgusting way that many larger artists are going. It is nothing short of exploitation, and it is nothing short of deplorable. So, I think that's me. A bit of an angrier return to the channel than maybe I would have liked. Hopefully I'll be back here making more happy and fun and positive content on the channel. But I just felt I had to mention this. It's too much. It's Sam Fender. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to comment and like and share this around to all your friends. And let them know that the most handsome man on YouTube is back on another channel, baby. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening to me talk tunes. And I'll see you next time.